Alright, so this is the diamond for the argyle sweater vest by Flotjetops. I hope I'm saying that right. I don't know if I am or not. But this is just going to be a quick explanation about how to do the basic diamond pattern for that. Because I find the way she explained it to be very confusing. Also, hopefully you'll be able to see me in this. I kind of just set up a camera and hoped it worked. Yeah, so let's see what we can do with this. Alright, so the diamond itself starts out by just chaining 3, and then you single crochet back into the first chain that you made, so the third from your hook. And then chain 1 to turn. From here, this is where we're going to start increasing to make the first point of the diamond. So you're going to work 1 single crochet into the single crochet you just made, and then 2 into the chain space here. The way she says it, she seems to think that that first single crochet is your turning chain, but it's not, which is what I think is the most confusing part of that. So now we've got 3 double crochets, chain 1, turn, and then we just kind of repeat that pattern. So single crochet up till that last stitch, and then in the last stitch work 2 single crochets to increase, chain 1 and turn, single crochet across, and then 2 into the last stitch, chain 1 and turn, single crochet across, two into the last stitch, chain 1 and turn, and you're going to continue this until you have 15 single crochets. Okay, this is 14, so the next row will be the last of increasing. In the video, she says 16 stitches, but that's also including the turning chain. So you'll want to stop increasing when you hit 15 single crochets, not including that turning chain. Here I was talking and not counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. And now we're going to turn and start decreasing to make the other end of our diamond here. So chain 1 and turn. So instead of working into this first stitch like we were in past rows, we're going to start into the second stitch. So this is actually the decrease here, is skipping that first stitch, and then we're going to work our way across. And then at the end of the row, not going to do it on this row. On her decrease rows, she works together the front loop of the stitch and then the front loop of the turning chain. I find that kind of dulls the corner on this, so I just skip it on the first decrease row, but then we'll do it on following rows until we reach the end. So again, we'll skip that first stitch, work into the second, And then when we get to the last stitch here, instead of working into the stitch itself, if you look at the top, you can kind of see the V there. We'll take that front loop from the stitch and then this front loop from the turning chain. So instead of going through the stitch, we're going through these two loops and work our single crochet into that, and that'll keep it nice and snug. It kind of pulls that turning chain tight so that it doesn't bump out on the sides. It keeps it nice and clean on the edge. So again, we're going to skip that first stitch, work into the second. And then at the end of the row, work into the front loop of the stitch and the front loop of the turning chain. Chain one turn, skip the first stitch, and we're just going to keep this pattern of skipping the first stitch and then working through the front loop of the last stitch and the front loop of the turning chain for that last single crochet of the row until we get to only having 2 stitches left. And then for this last row, since we only have the 2 stitches left, again we're going to skip that first one, but since the second one is the last one, we'll just go ahead and work through that front loop of the stitch and front loop of the turning chain for our last single crochet. Then at this point you'll cut your yarn and tie off. You might want to block this bit. Mine's a little bit funky. I don't have the right size hook, which is part of it. And I also tend to crochet a bit tight, which is also probably part of it. But yeah, there you go. It's a diamond. And you just make a bunch of these. For the triangle, you'll just stop halfway, so you won't do the decreases. And then for the half diamond thing, I actually haven't made one of those yet, but it looks like you just work your increases on one edge only, and then the decreases on one edge only, and then work the other side straight. Yeah, hopefully that helped clarify a little bit. I don't know if it did or not. But really once you get the hang of it, it's not really too difficult a pattern. It's mostly just that on the decrease, some of how she explained it was a little bit confusing. Yeah, hopefully that clarified.